The state would call, I apologize, the state would call Detective Hillary Rodriguez.
You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Detective.
Good morning.
Will you please state and spell your name for the record?
Hillary Rodriguez, Hillary. Last name spelling is Rodriguez.
And Detective Rodriguez, how are you currently employed?
I am currently employed with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office. I work in our criminal division, major crimes unit.
And is that the entirety of your law enforcement career?
No.
So, before we get through everything that you've done, what does it take to become a law enforcement officer?
So I completed training at the College of the Mainland, the Police Academy. I attended the day program, so it was full-time for 6 months. And then I graduated with a basic peace officer license.
And after the academy, you said you graduated with a basic peace officer license. Who issues that license?
That was through the academy.
And is that the only license in which you need to have to be a peace officer?
Yes.
And is there any sort of testing or certification that you must take?
Yes.
What is that?
The testing and certification goes through the state, and once you pass it, then you're awarded your basic peace officer license.
And is that test through an agency called DECOL?
Yes.
And once you obtain that licensure, do you keep it forever or do you have to have continuing education?
You have to have continuing education.
And what sort of continuing education is that?
So I now hold an advanced peace officer license through my continuing education courses. I've completed the new detective, homicide investigations, interviews and interrogations, along with a lot of other continuing education courses.
So when you first started as a peace officer, how many years ago was that?
I graduated the police academy in December of 2015.
And what was your first job in law enforcement?
Straight out of the academy, I got hired on with the Hitchcock Police Department, and I stayed there for 1 year.
And did you go somewhere after that?
After the Hitchcock Police Department, I transferred over to the Galveston County Sheriff's Office, and I went into the patrol division for 4.5 years.
And as a patrol officer, what's your kind of day in the life, daily duties?
So you get anything from your calls of service to business checks, residential checks, community policing, things like that.
And you said you were there for 4.5 years?
Yes, on patrol.
After patrol, where did you go to?
After patrol, I went into the criminal warrant division, and I handled the sex offender registration for 1 year.
And what is different from patrol and the criminal warrant division and sex offender registration?
So patrol, you have your normal, like for us at the sheriff's office, it's like a 12-hour shift. And whenever I went into the sex offender registration, it was a Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 position. And it was more dealing with appointments for the registered sex offenders.
And after you were at the criminal warrant division and sex offender registration, where did you go?
I went into the criminal warrants, apprehension, serving felony warrants and misdemeanor warrants.
And how long were you there?
I was there for 2 years.
After that, what position did you move to?
I went into major crimes in the criminal investigation division, and I've now since been here for 1 year.
And tell us a little bit about what does it mean to be part of the major crimes unit?
So major crimes, we handle everything from a simple theft all the way to aggravated assaults with deadly weapons, homicides. We handle everything. We're not specifically to one category.
And what is different about being a detective versus being on, say, patrol?
With a detective, we're more to help the victims and, solve the case, and a lot of paperwork goes into it.
And what are some of the things that you do as a detective?
So some of the things that I do as a detective is we do interviews, interrogations, we file warrants, and we follow up with victims and witnesses.
And is that, as part of your job as a detective, do you ever actually go physically collect the evidence, or does that go to a different division?
It goes to a different division, to our identification division.
So it sounds like the detectives, y'all are more on the investigation standpoint. Is that fair?
Yes.
I want to bring your attention to February 7th of 2025. Do you recall that date?
Yes.
And did something occur on that date that led us to be here today?
Yes.
What was that?
It was an incident of a person was dead on the scene.
And do you recall where that was?
Can I refer to my notes?
Absolutely. If you'll just refresh your notes and then look up at me once you feel refreshed.
Okay.
Go ahead.
It was 4723 15th Street in Bacliff, Galveston County, Texas.
And what type of location was 4723 15th Street?
It was a residential house.
And can you tell us a little bit about that house, what it looked like?
So whenever you get to the home, there is a driveway off to the left of the property. The front porch has a handicap ramp and approximately 2 to 3 steps leading to a door. And once you get to that door, it's a mud room, and then you have the main door to the residence.
Once you arrived on scene, what did you do?
When I arrived on scene, I was there for observation training, and I waited for our identifications division to complete their photographs of the scene.
And why is it that the identification division does photographing first?
Before anybody gets into the residence to mess with evidence or start searches, it's to preserve.
And so, walk us through, when you first walk into that, or I guess let me ask, do you then walk into the residence?
I do.
And when you walk into the residence, what do you see?
I walk through the front door of the residence, and you immediately go into the living room. The living room had 2 couches and a coffee table, entertainment center, a strong odor, a foul odor. You walk past the living room, and there's a breakfast nook. When you're in the breakfast nook, off to the left is a kitchen. In the kitchen, there is no counter space. There's dirty dishes in the sink. The house is disgusting. If you're back at that breakfast nook, whenever you walk directly straight from that breakfast nook is a bedroom. There I saw a large woman naked laying on a bed. And off to the right of the breakfast nook is a hallway that leads to 2 bedrooms and a bathroom.
And was there anybody else in the home besides the woman you saw deceased?
No.
And were you able to tell what had caused the death of the woman at this point?
At that time, no. I did not walk into that bedroom because ID, or our identifications division, was photographing.
Okay. After the photographs are complete, what do you do after doing your walkthrough?
After the walkthrough, I was tasked with searching one of the bedrooms in the hallway. Whenever I went into that bedroom, the door to the bedroom had a series of posters on the outside. We had to force the door open because there was so much clutter on the floor. Once we got into the bedroom, I observed no sheets on the bed. There were several empty cans, like soda cans. There was half-eaten food, to-go containers for restaurants. Some of the food was molded. You could tell it's been there and sitting for a while. There was dirty clothes on the floor. There was a trash can that had no trash in it. And then maybe a queen-size bed. Off to the left of the queen-size bed was a desk in an L shape. And there was a makeshift bed underneath that desk.
When you say makeshift bed, what do you mean by that?
Like kids, they build pallets with blankets and pillows, so like that in a sense. Blankets and pillows for comfort instead of laying on the floor. And then also underneath that desk was several water bottles with a yellow liquid inside, which I believe to be urine.
And when you saw kind of the status of this room, what thoughts did you have about it?
Poor hygiene. The room was not kept at all. There was roaches. It was disgusting, and it smelled due to the old food that had been there, along with the bottles of urine.
Okay. And once you kind of go through this room, what is the next step that you do?
So while I'm in the room, I'm searching with one of our other detectives, and I locate a note, and I read the note, and I hand it off to our identifications division so they can photograph it and collect it for evidence.
Okay. And without telling me anything that the note said, could you tell who the note was written by?
After reading it, yes.
Okay. Who was it written by?
Tammy King.
Okay. And just to be clear, without telling me anything it said, did it discuss the death of Ms. King?
No.
Okay. After that, what do you do next?
So after I locate the note and hand it off to our identifications division, I exit the house and I wait for my next task.
Okay. And what is your next task?
My next task was, we stayed on scene. If anybody needed help with anything or searching further, I went around to the property to try and make contact with neighbors to see if they seen or heard anything. Whenever I walked around to the property, directly behind the house was a trailer. I attempted contact with that trailer and nobody answered, so I was not able to speak with anybody there.
After you had completed kind of a walk around trying to locate anyone else, what was the next step in your part of the investigation?
My next step in the investigation, our agency put out a Facebook post in reference to the incident, and we were getting several calls. I was tasked with meeting and interviewing one of the witnesses.
And what witness was that?
Rigoberto Garesta.
And once you met Rigoberto, without telling me what he stated to you, what, if anything, did you do after that interview?
After that interview, it would have been that next morning, we met at the sheriff's office and we divided tasks. And one of my additional tasks were to meet with a business to get surveillance video in reference to the incident.
What business was that?
Energy Metals, Inc.
And did you ultimately collect any video from Energy Metals?
Yes.
Can you tell us where Energy Metals is located?
Can I refer to my notes for the exact address?
Absolutely. Or you don't even need an exact address to the city?
Yeah, it's in Pearland, Texas.
Perfect. And you stated you did obtain video from Energy Metals?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, statement moved to admit states 24 and 25 is a VRA video from Energy Metals.
Objection.
States 24 and 25 will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I publish states 25?
Yes, ma'am.
So before we get started on this one, I know it's kind of below the play button, but can you see what time and date this is at?
Yes.
What is that?
It's February 5th of 2025, and the time is in military, 14:04 and 37 seconds.
And for those of us who may not be military time savvy, what time is that in Central Standard?
2:04 p.m.
And do you recall what day of the week February 5th would be?
I don't off of the top of my head.
Does Wednesday sound right?
Yes.
And before we press play, can you tell the jury kind of what are we looking at? What is the viewpoint here?
So this is a surveillance video camera outside of Energy Metals Inc., which is a business in Pearland. And the surveillance video points to the entrance of the parking lot where employees park.
Good. We're going to press play on states 25 at 1 minute and 5 seconds. Or sorry, at 5 seconds. Detective, what are we looking at here?
You're looking at a black in color Nissan Altima pulling into the parking lot of Energy Metals Inc.
And do you know who owns that black Nissan Altima?
Yes.
Who does?
Rigoberto Barista.
And does that corroborate the information you were gaining from Rigo?
Yes.
Go ahead and press pause on state 25 at 47 seconds. So after you obtain this video, what is the next thing that you do as part of the investigation?
The next task that I was tasked with was to complete search warrants for Instagram, which is a social media platform, for the witnesses involved in the case.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright. I am approaching you, Detective, with what's been marked as states 27, 30, and 33. Without telling me what they are, will you take a look at these documents and let me know if you recognize them?
Yes.
How do you recognize them?
I drafted those search warrants.
Okay. And are they a true and accurate depiction of what they purport to be? Have they been altered in any way?
They have not been altered and they are true.
Your Honor, statement moved to admit states 27 through 33.
Objection.
All right, initially you said those exhibits were numbered 27, 30, and 30.
I'm sure they did, Your Honor, and you're correct.
Okay.
27, 30, and 33.
Okay, those will be admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. And you stated that those are 3 search warrants, correct, Detective?
Yes.
Can you tell me who some of the search warrants you drafted were for?
I drafted those for Rigoberto Barista, Nathan Anderson, and Caitlin Luce.
Did you also do one for Christian Atkins?
I did.
Your Honor, at this time the state would move to admit states 26, 25, 28.
We already have 25. Were those the energy metal videos? Was there more than one?
You are sure right, Judge.
Okay.
Thank you.
We just need to keep the numbers.
No, I appreciate it.
Okay.
So I'm going to move to admit states 26, 29, 32, 28, 31, 34, and I will make that other one number 493.
493?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And these would be 3 Instagram search warrants, Your Honor. Nope, I very apologize. I was looking at the wrong thing. If I may start over on my
Yes,
numbers.
ma'am,
I
of course.
apologize so much, Judge.
You're going to go over the numbers again? How they're
Yes.
marked? Okay. let's
Because
start
I was
again.
holding the energy metal at
Okay,
25.
let's start again.
Yes, ma'am, I do apologize. Going to admit 26, 29, and 32, as well as 28, 31, and 34, which are 3 Instagram returns with their corresponding VRAs.
No objection.
Hearing no objection, states 26, 29, 32, 28, 31, and 34 will be admitted.
Thank you, Art. And I'm going to replace states 25 so I don't mess that up again.
Okay.
And may I publish the 3 Instagram returns?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I want to start, Detective, with states 28, which is the Instagram return under the screen name Illegal Turtle, which belongs to Rigoberto Garcieta. Is that the name that you drafted a search warrant for?
Yes, it was.
And now when you send a search warrant to Instagram, how do they send you back information?
They send the information through a zip file, which is, they send preservations and linked media.
And what they send you back, is it typically a small amount of data or a large amount of data?
It's a very large amount of data.
And is this what you were talking about with that preservation and linked media?
Yes.
And so if you click on any of these items, how big is the document that comes up?
Several pages.
And we say several, are we talking like 5 or 6 or in the thousands?
In the thousands.
Okay. When you go through an Instagram search warrant return, what is the best way that you're able to capture the things that you're looking at?
The best way to capture them are doing snippets, which is basically screenshotting the screen of what you're looking at so you can put them in order and save the conversations.
And is that the second folder we see on the drive?
Yes.
And so just to be clear, this top folder is just screen grabs of what's in the larger folder.
Yes.
Okay. And whose Instagram return is this? Or like we said, it was the Illegal Turtle.
Yes. That's going to be Rigoberto Garcieta.
Okay. And so we're going through some of these screenshots, and then just to explain to the jury kind of what we're looking at, what would this mean?
So anytime that you see linked media, it's usually going to refer to a photo or a video.
And what we're seeing in these screenshots is conversations that Rigo is having. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I want to move forward to... So what date is this screenshot on?
That was taken February 8th, 2025 at 2:09 and 58 seconds.
Okay. And so how long after the discovery of Miss King was this?
The search warrants were, can I refer to minutes when
Absolutely.
I drafted those? So on February 14th, I received the records request in reference to Rigo's Instagram.
Okay. And we said it was on February 7th that we located Mrs. King. Is that correct?
Correct.
And so these messages were sent in the days following the location of Mrs. King.
Correct.
Okay. And so through these screenshots that you have pulled, it is Rigoberto talking about giving them a ride. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And who was the next person that you did a search warrant on?
Nathan Anderson.
Do you recall what his screen name was?
Flip to my notes. Grimscare.
Is it this kind of name that we see here on States 34?
Yes.
Okay. And so kind of same thing without going through all of it. Would this be the big document of Nathan's?
Yes.
And this would be all the screenshots that you pulled where Nathan is conversing with Aaron and Percy and about this.
Yes.
Okay. And lastly, I know you mentioned a Caitlin Luce, but who was the fourth person that you did an Instagram search warrant on?
The fourth person was Christian Atkins.
And do you recall what his Instagram was?
Chris.Packer12.
And same thing, is this the full return we see on the second folder on States 31, and the screenshots are in States at the top of States 31?
Yes.
Okay. Now, starting here, can you tell me what these two Instagrams are at the top?
So the two Instagrams on the top are going to be the profiles that are having the conversation.
Okay. And do we see, what is the second one?
The second one is Chris.Packer12.
And when does this conversation begin? What is our first date?
The first date is February 5th, 2025 at 16:50 and 51 seconds.
Now, we see this UTC at the back. What is UTC?
That's going to be, again, it's in military time, so if y'all need me to, it's going to be 4:50 and 51 seconds p.m.
So, is UTC military time, or is it kind of a universal time that social media uses?
It's universal that social media uses.
Okay. And so, is that the accurate time, or does UTC typically mean something different?
It's accurate.
So, on February 5th, what does Chris Packer say?
Shit to wear.
And then, can you read me what these next two messages are?
Wyoming or a place to crash for the night. Please, we will pay for all food and gas if you take us. We're carrying guns. They are hidden and safe. Please.
And what's the next message?
It's me and my boyfriend. Please, we're getting away from my abusive grandmother or grandma.
And how does Christian respond?
Wyoming is like a day drive. Place to crash for the night, question mark. I have a spare room y'all can use, but how long would y'all need to stay, question mark.
And then we continue, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead and tell me what the conversation keeps talking about.
My boyfriend will pay $500. Chris.Packer says, where are y'all located? First, I should ask that. I'm in Houston, so I just need to make sure it's all good. South Park Emo says, I'm in Bacliff. Chris.Packer says, okay, that's close. I'll need to clean up some stuff first. So does tonight sound okay, question mark? And it's just till Friday night, right? Question mark. South Park Emo says, can you come as fast as you can? Shit, we will pay another $100. We will help you clean. South Park Emo says, and yeah, just till Friday. Chris.Packer says, well, I'm at work, so it will have to be until I can get off with 5:30 p.m. If I can get off earlier, I will let you know. BTW means, by the way, I live in Leak City.
And as we go, do they continue to kind of have this conversation?
Yes.
All right. And so go ahead and tell us how this conversation continues.
It continues by hey, if we are available to stay, can we pull up to your job? If so, is there any way we can hide out stuff quickly? Our person we were gonna be with until then dropped on us. Chris Packer says, yeah, you can put it in my Jeep. South Park Emo, bet, what's the address? Chris Packer says, it's EMI in Pearland. South Park Emo sends an emoji. That is what the purple alien means. South Park Emo asks, Energy Metal Inc? Question mark. Chris Packer said, yeah.
And is that Energy Metals Inc. the same Energy Metals that we spoke about earlier with the surveillance video?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And then go ahead and tell me how we continue.
South Park Emo says 5 minutes away. South Park Emo says, we have a dog named Salem. She's pretty small. We weren't going to bring her, but we couldn't bring ourselves to leave her. We had to take her with us. South Park Emo says, you won't have to worry about her. She never barks or really makes any sound at all. She can stay in the room we're staying in. South Park Emo says, what color Jeep is it? South Park Emo says, we're here. South Park Emo says, we're outside. Chris Packer says, okay, give me a second. South Park Emo, I got you. Chris Packer, I'm outside. South Park Emo, coming out of black car. Chris Packer, I'm off to the side of the front. You should see a white Jeep.
Okay. And do these messages correspond with the video from Energy Metals that we saw?
They do.
And are the rest of these screenshots continued conversation between Christian and South Park Emo?
They are.
After you completed these Instagram search warrants, what was the next step that you had in the investigation?
As far as my investigation goes, that was completed after the search warrants that were drafted.
Okay. And I want to go back a little bit just so we know how the Sheriff's Office kind of tackles investigations. Are you the only detective that's assigned to the case?
I am not.
Tell us how that works with the Sheriff's Office. Who gets assigned to a case?
So typically the way that we're assigned to a case, we have on-call weeks. Every 8 weeks we are on call for a whole week from Monday at 8 a.m. to the following Monday at 8 a.m. If anything occurs within that week, then you will be assigned primary on that case. If it is a large case, then other detectives will be assigned to assist you with whatever you may need.
And were you the primary detective on this case?
I was not.
Who was?
Detective Angelica Hudson.
And so were you assigned, as you just described, it's a big case, so you were assigned to help?
Yes.
Nothing further from this witness, Your Honor.
Right, Mr. Urick?
Ma'am, as part of your investigation, did you look into any of the dynamics involved between Tammy and Tara King?
I did not.
Okay, or any of the dynamics involving my client?
I did not.
Okay. I'll pass the witness, Judge.
Nothing further from this witness,
And
Your Honor.
please make that down.
Thank you, Judge.
Please call your next witness.